The term conservative, a word that many things has been said about, and about people who identify with it. But one thing that needs to be said about it is that it is dumb to identify yourself by. It is a term that is holding the right, which is also dumb to identify yourself by, back. I myself am someone who can be identified by this term, and also call myself by it. But this is not because I particularly strongly aim it. Yes, I do want to conserve many things, but I mostly use it because it easily conveys who I most align with. Though in reality, I'm something far beyond just conservative, far beyond simply conserving things, something way closer to reactionary. Yet that term still is not completely right, far from it. I personally describe myself as a world perfectionist. Intro, end. Why is that in my script? That makes no sense. We all know it by now, that conservatism is just liberalism from 20 years ago. And this is exactly what the problem with conservatism is. That conservatism is not a conviction. That conservatives are not convicted of anything. Conservatism and conservatives are just reasonlessly longing for the past or the preservation of the present, without any vigor or desire to achieve and instate anything, to have their convictions win. Conservatism is but sitting on a rock being pulled away and trying to stop it from being so, for no other reason than appreciation for the rock's placement, not even knowing why they appreciate it. Quick side note, this is only really about cultural topics. Economic ones are a different topic, where you can then also come into an argument about which is most important. But I think cultural things are way more important, because what does it matter that you are rich when you're rotting internally? The soul and spirit are superior to the body, and likewise are things that concern them. But I call myself a world perfectionist because I have convictions that I believe are true, of course. And because I believe these convictions are right, I fight for them. I believe that we must follow good and strive towards it. To be good, to be better. I believe we must strive to make good the highest reason of everything we do, not personal pleasure or conserving and following tradition. We must get as close and merge together with good as possible. I just believe that this is something that already beaten paths were closer to than the one we are on now. I grew up and live in a place where these things I fight for died out long ago, long before I was even born. Yet I fight for these things, not because I want to conserve something, but because I know these things are better than what we have now. I fight for these things because I want to create a better world, and they are needed to make it. That they are things that used to be in the past is completely irrelevant. The only thing it changes is that it makes it clearer to see that they are needed to create a better world. In these days, when the world is in an age of great decline, of extreme cultural decay like none ever seen before, of a morallessness that has never existed before, being only a conservative, and especially of the most popular form, boomerconism, is the same as telling burglars what not to take. It is no more than radical stupidity, and in the face of radical stupidity, we also need to be radical, but not in stupidity, in brilliance, and in goodness. We need to be nothing short of reactionary. When these thieves break into our homes and steal, we need to fiercely react and drive them away. We need to not stay still, but become truly progressive. Unlike those who have co-opted the term to cloak their regressive goals' true nature. Those who call themselves progressive despite their entire aim being to destroy everything that has already been built, and to regress to the most primal state of self-centrism, far from perfection in anything good. And unlike them, we must make true progress, progress towards becoming one with perfection and goodness. We need to tread a new path towards this goal, but to do this, we must first return, because the path we have walked down has turned into a semicircle, being led by people who think our destination lies in a place where they exist the same level of barbarity as we only had in pre-human times. We must not simply conserve some things, we must also revive many other things, end some, and find new ways with others. But most importantly, we must stick absolute and unchanging to one thing. We must place our eternal loyalty with perfection and goodness. We shouldn't hoist the banner of left or right, of one party or another, when these things are only distractions that keep our attention away from what is more important. We must end this culture war and hoist the banner of goodness to be the highest, to be for good and against evil. And when we have done this, we can discuss things of lesser importance and hoist banners of political parties. Goodness comes only through the abolition of imperfection,